On my wedding day, I should have been the happiest woman alive. I had dreamed about that moment since I was a little girl. Walking down the aisle, feeling like a princess, surrounded by love and family. But instead of joy, what I felt that day was humiliation, anger, and heartbreak. The reason? My mother-in-law, Veronica. From the moment she met me, she made it clear she didn't think I was good enough for her son, Daniel. According to her, I was just a poor girl with no class, someone who had tricked her son into marriage. Daniel and I met in college. I came from a humble background. I worked 2 jobs to pay my tuition, while Daniel came from a wealthy family. But he never cared about money. He loved me for who I was. When he proposed, I was overjoyed. I thought his family would accept me once they saw how much we loved each other. I couldn't have been more wrong. From day one, Veronica found ways to belittle me. She would comment on my clothes, my accent, even the way I sat at the table. A lady of refinement wouldn't do that, she'd whisper loud enough for everyone to hear. Daniel defended me sometimes, but I could see how much pressure his mother put on him. I tried to be patient. I told myself she'd come around eventually. But on my wedding day, she made sure the entire world saw how much she despised me. It happened right after the ceremony, during the reception. The hall was decorated beautifully. Flowers, candles, music, everything was perfect. I was dancing with Daniel when Veronica suddenly took the microphone. "Ladies and gentlemen," she said with a fake smile, "let's all raise a glass to my son and his bride." Her tone dripped with venom. Everyone turned to look at her. "I just want to say how proud I am of my son. He's always been kind, generous, and successful. It's a shame," she paused dramatically, "that he didn't find a woman who matched his worth." A gasp went through the crowd. I froze. My heart sank as she continued. A poor nobody like her could never be good enough for my son. But maybe she'll learn how to act like a lady now that she's in our family. Laughter from a few of her friends echoed through the hall. My cheeks burned. I could feel tears threatening to fall, but I stood tall, refusing to give her that satisfaction. Daniel was furious. He grabbed the mic from her and told her to stop, but the damage was done. The whispers, the stares, they pierced me like daggers. I excused myself and locked myself in the bathroom, crying silently so I wouldn't ruin my makeup. That night, after everyone left, I told Daniel I needed space. I couldn't stay in a marriage where his mother's cruelty was tolerated. He begged me to stay, promising to fix everything. I didn't know what to do, but deep inside, I made a silent vow. I would make Veronica regret ever humiliating me. Months passed. Daniel and I moved out of his family's house into a small apartment. I threw myself into work, determined to prove my worth, not to her, but to myself. I had studied business management, and I decided to start a small event planning company. It was hard at first. Clients were rare, and Veronica kept telling people I was just pretending to be a businesswoman. But I didn't give up. I worked day and night, using every skill I had. Slowly, things began to change. My first big break came when a wealthy couple hired me to organize their daughter's wedding. It was a success. People loved my creativity and professionalism. Soon, word spread. Within a year, I had enough clients to hire a team. My business grew beyond what I could have ever imagined. I became one of the most sought-after wedding planners in the city. Ironically, some of my biggest clients were Veronica's friends, women who had laughed at me during my own wedding. They admired my work but didn't realize who I was until they saw me face to face. Their expressions were priceless. One day I received a call from Veronica herself. Her tone was shaky. "I heard you organize events now," she said. "We're planning a big anniversary party. Could you help?" I almost laughed. The same woman who called me a nobody was now asking for my help. I agreed, but not for revenge. I wanted to show her what grace and success looked like. When the day of her anniversary arrived, everything was perfect. The decorations, the catering, the lighting. It was the most elegant event I had ever done. Veronica looked around, clearly impressed. As the guests praised the arrangements, she finally walked up to me. Her eyes softened for the first time. "You did all this?" she asked quietly. I nodded. "Yes, Mrs. Collins, I wanted it to be perfect for you." For a moment, she said nothing. Then she whispered, "I was wrong about you." I could tell it wasn't easy for her to say. I smiled gently. It's okay, I replied. Sometimes people need time to see others clearly. Later that night, as I watched Daniel and his mother dance, I felt a strange peace. I didn't need to humiliate her back. My success spoke louder than any insult she had ever thrown. The girl she mocked as a poor nobody had built a life she could be proud of. And in the end, Veronica's regret was not forced. It came naturally, through the quiet power of transformation. I realized that the best revenge isn't anger or revengeful words. It's becoming everything they said you couldn't be.